y'all, it's Jen here, back with some of my Gen Chi wisdom that honestly might be the most important thing I've ever told you yet. So pay attention, okay? Today, I'm talking about empathy. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is going to be yet another lecture about how you need to be more empathetic, stop right there, because that is not what this is about at all. See, I do a lot of emotional support work. It is literally my job. And over the years, I've noticed something that all those quick how-to articles about emotional intelligence completely miss. Most people do not have a deficit in the empathy department. The real problem? Most empathetic people take on way too much. They step into other people's shoes and then somehow feel responsible for carrying the weight of whatever they find there. And that creates this internal conflict that will absolutely overwhelm you if you're not self-aware enough to recognize what's happening. Let me ask you something. Have you ever said to yourself, I don't know why I care about their situation more than they seem to? Because if yes, congratulations, you have just demonstrated misplaced empathy. Or how about this one? Have you ever felt like you had to tiptoe around someone? Or found yourself suddenly nervous and jumping into people-pleasing mode because you sense that someone is angry or upset, even if it's not with you? Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. You're not just being empathetic. You are being overly empathetic, okay? Big difference. Some people call it being overly sensitive, but what's really happening is you're picking up on emotional energy coming from others and mistakenly believing that you're somehow responsible for managing it. Look, this is where it gets tricky. Empathetic people, and I see this constantly, they often believe they have to fix everything and everybody, whether that's a problem that their child is having, or maybe the bad day their spouse had, or a grumpy boss they always feel on edge around. They think that empathy means taking action, taking responsibility, and taking on the burden of other people's emotions. So let me deliver the news flash that you desperately need to hear. You cannot and should not fix anybody but yourself. Period. End of story. That's it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But Jen, isn't that selfish? Shouldn't I care about others? Well, yes, of course you should care. But see, here's the thing, and this is extremely important. Caring and empathy are not the same thing. Caring is innate. It's part of being human. It's natural to care about the people in your life. But empathy is a learned skill. It's a tool. And like any tool, you have to learn how to use it properly or you're going to hurt yourself with it. Think about it this way. A lot of people say that, they're claustrophobic in crowded rooms, right? Yeah. But in my experience, what's really happening is a sensory overload from all the emotional vibes they're picking up from others. They're not actually afraid of the space itself. They're feeling overwhelmed by the emotional energy in it. Okay? The same thing happens in your daily life. You walk into a room and immediately sense tension. Someone's upset. Someone's stressed. And if you are an overly empathetic person, you immediately start trying to figure out what either you did wrong or what you need to do to help fix it, even when it has absolutely nothing at all to do with you. That is not emotional intelligence, people. That is emotional exhaustion waiting to happen. Now, here's what really gets me fired up about those quick, be more empathetic articles that are floating around the internet. They are written as if everyone lacks empathy, but they completely ignore the people who are drowning in it. A narcissist, they're going to scroll right past those articles because they're not even interested. But when an overly empathetic person reads them, they somehow interpret it to mean that, oh, they're not doing enough, that they need to try even harder, care more, and fix more. I'm sorry, but that is a huge disservice. Because here's what those articles never tell you. Empathizing with another person is never meant to indicate that you are at all responsible for taking their stress upon yourself. Let me say that again for the people in the back. You are not responsible for other people's emotional stress. So what's the solution? Boundaries. Part of real self-awareness and emotional control is learning to maintain the boundaries around your own emotions and values so that you are not adversely affected by chaos that you sense going on with others. How can you maintain your own composure in your personal life or your professional life if you interpret empathize to mean you have to be reacting to or fixing everything that you sense wrong in somebody else? Newsflash, you can't, and you will burn yourself out trying. So here is what actual healthy empathy looks like. And I'm going to get a little technical here for all you logical reasoning folks out there. Empathy is the learned skill of objectively observing a subjective situation. It's using discernment to non-judgmentally interpret what you observe or sense without allowing it to overwhelm or distract you. The goal is to respond with acknowledgement and respect for the humanity of the person it came from, not to fix them, not to carry it for them, but simply to acknowledge it. That's it. That understanding and ability to see another human beyond their surface level is empathy. You can care about someone without taking responsibility for fixing their feelings. You can acknowledge someone's struggle without making it your own. You can be very supportive and keep healthy boundaries in your interactions with others. It is one of the most empathetic things that you can do for both them and for yourself. Because when you're running on empty from carrying everyone else's emotional baggage along with your own, well, you've got nothing genuine left to give. You're just going through the motions, completely depleted, and that does not help anyone, including you. So here's my challenge for you, okay? The next time you find yourself taking on someone else's stress or trying to fix their problem, stop. Ask yourself, is this actually my responsibility, or am I over-empathizing again? If it's not your responsibility, and trust me, most of the time it will be, take a breath and then let it go. Acknowledge it, respect it for the other person's sake because you care, but don't carry it for them. Because that's the version of you that can actually be present instead of just getting overwhelmed by everyone else's emotional chaos. Now, this is a tough one for some folks to wrap their heads around, so if you think it will help others, please do go ahead and let them know about our virtual ESA podcast. We really want to help as many humans as possible. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you next time on the Sunshine Virtual ESA Podcast.